In Gnosis, we have many exercises to develop our full potential. Primarily meditation. We emphasize a lot the need to love our neighbor as ourself, as our being, as our inner God. It is said by Samal and Vior that there is no progress without forgiveness of others, without compassion. Therefore, it's important that we work very intentionally with helping others to alleviate the suffering of even our worst enemies, the people who make us suffer the most. In Buddhism, there is a specific meditation for this purpose. It is known as Tonglen. Tonglen in Tibetan means giving happiness and taking suffering. It is a discipline whereby we willingly take on the afflictions of others, and through the power of our love, transform that suffering into light, into harmony, into compassion. As one of the most powerful practices of Tibetan Buddhism, Tonglen specifically works to diffuse the pain of sentient beings, particularly of loved ones, or even especially someone with whom we have a conflict in life. With this practice, we visualize a particular person who is in a lot of pain, whether from a physical, emotional, mental illness. Someone who is distraught, afflicted with a lot of sorrow, with the pain of desire, disorder, chaos. This meditation is about helping humanity. It is not about helping ourselves. It is about sacrificing our own self-esteem, our insecurities, our longings for acquisition, social position, recognition. In this discipline, this meditation specifically, we select a person who needs help. And if it's a loved one, that's very good. To want to heal the pain of another person, to imagine that we take in their suffering and transmute that suffering into happiness, harmony, positive energy to send to them. It's good to want to help a family member or a friend who is sick. But some of the real power of this meditation has to do with helping those who afflict us, who create disturbance, conflict, and discord in our three brains and our five centers of the human machine, who hurt our deepest sentiment. With this practice, by imagining either the sickness or suffering of a person entering to us and transforming it with love, we gain a power that truly amplifies our conscious potential. And by giving others strength to walk in life, we gain strength. Selflessness is the greatest support. The strength of an initiate, because love is selfless. It doesn't ask in return. It doesn't demand allegiance, obedience, praise. With Tonglen, traditionally, this meditation is used to imagine a sick person. It could be physical pain. It could be emotional or mental pain. It could be spiritual pain. We visualize that person and we see in our consciousness this individual. I suggest you work with one person at a time to really dedicate your full concentration, because concentration needs to be exact and imagination needs to be deep. It needs to be profound. And by focusing on one person, we can imagine whatever sick organ they have, or mental pain, emotional pain. We imagine that through our inhalation, through our nose, we take in their disease or their pain like a black smoke. Visualize that suffering and that affliction entering into our nostrils, into our lungs. We willingly, voluntarily take on their pain. And then in our heart, as the smoke enters our body, we imagine that in our cardiac center, a beautiful light emanates, transforms the smoke into a beautiful divine cognizance, brilliance, luminosity, happiness, health, good fortune, compassion. When we exhale, we send that light into that person. We imagine that through our love, through our prayer, through our visualization, through our concentration, that light enters the sick person and heals whatever affliction they are experiencing. Imagine that if they have a sick organ, this light penetrates that sick organ, filling it with vibrancy, with life. Or if they are in a particular difficulty in their daily state, that the light of your compassion gives them sustenance and healing. Part of this practice involves, in our tradition, invoking the Holy Spirit. The true healer is the Holy Spirit, Binah in Hebrew, the intelligence of God, the sacred spouse of the Divine Mother Kundalini, our true being. The Holy Spirit is the arch magician and hierophant, the great master of medicine, the great balm of human pain. This internal Gnostic doctor is within each one of us. The Holy Spirit has the power to heal any condition. But the laws of divinity are very exact, very demanding. very rigorous. And while compassion is infinite, we all must face karma. Knowing this limitation, still out of compassion, we ask our inner divine third logos, the Holy Spirit, the great doctor, to heal whichever person we seek to help. To help us be a vehicle of God, of Christ, of the Holy Spirit. As we are exhaling light, sending superior vibrations towards another person, towards the person we are meditating upon, we use a very profound mantra, Talitha Kumi. This mantra has the power to resurrect the dead. It was used by Jesus not only to raise the dead, but to cure the sick. And so we use this mantra with Tonglen. You will not find this explicit teaching within Tibetan Buddhism because it's something internal. This mantra, Talitha Kumi, amplifies the compassion we send to our patient, the love and the healing we invoke from the Holy Spirit. Here is what Samal and Vior had to say about this mantra. Another very interesting mantra taught by Christ in order to cure the sick and to resurrect the dead is the following. Talitha Kumi. Is this difficult? Resurrection is only possible when the silver cord has not yet been cut. In such cases, heat must be breathed into the lips of the cadaver. The defunct must be taken by the hand. Then the mantra Talitha Kumi must be pronounced and the name of the deceased has to be called 3 times. While this mantra applies to the process of resurrection, of resuscitating the dead, this mantra too can help raise the spiritually dead. Those who are truly obscured by their own egotism, their own defects, who are dead to divinity. People who we think are very lost, who are misfortunate, who are confused. As Samal Veer states in Esoteric Medicine and Practical Magic, the teachings of Christ, this very high magical work is only possible when the law permits it. The healing of any person must be in accordance with the law. And so while we are performing this mantra, every time we exhale, sending light, healing towards this person we want to help, we have to remember that all healing comes from the divine Holy Spirit in accordance with karma. Regardless of a person's karma, it is good to pray for others, to ask for this magical work and assistance. Because only by sacrificing ourselves for others do we really advance. The law of Christ is reciprocity, is sacrifice. To receive, we must give. And to really give, we must receive pain. We must take on the pain of others. Especially, it's good to do this practice for someone with whom you have an aversion or discomfort with. Because this reflects something in us psychologically that must change. It is good to forgive our enemies, to those who contradict us, who accuse us, who persecute us. These mantras, Talitha Kumi, should be pronounced with a lot of love, with a lot of force. When we inhale the black smoke of a person's illness, their pain, their confusion, we imagine that in our heart, along with the beautiful light, the dove of the Holy Spirit, like an igneous, immaculate bird, transforms that smoke into purity, into force, into happiness. And then as we exhale, send that dove towards the sick person to bless them. Some people have wondered by Tonglen whether or not we will get sick if we take on the sickness of another. The reality is that we won't get their sickness. It's not our karma. What one person suffers from their own actions is particular to them. But with Tonglen, with our compassion, we imagine that we take on their pain willingly, because this is the law of Christ, voluntary sacrifice. So imagine that dove in your heart with immaculate wings made of fire. Imagine the person you want to heal or to help. Perceive them. Imagine this person, wherever they may be. Perhaps even in a situation in which you commonly find this person in your daily life or in your experience. Imagine their pain. Imagine how this person does not want to suffer, to be hurt, to be betrayed. Inhale, imagine their pain entering you in your lungs, like smoke. Retain your breath for a moment. Imagine that the Holy Spirit in your heart, your inner Binah, the third logos, the healer, transforms that smoke into a brilliant fire, white light. And as you exhale, send that dove towards this person, either to heal their sick organs or to alleviate their suffering. You pronounce the mantras Talitha Kumi like this. Talitha Kumi. Continue to imagine this person. Breathe profoundly. And remember the presence of your inner God. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi.
Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi.
Perform the mantras mentally. Let us give thanks to our inner being, the Holy Spirit, for allowing us to be of assistance to humanity. Let us give thanks to our Divine Mother, Kundalini, for her mercy and her help. And let us give thanks to those we are helping, that through them we may be of service to humanity, and we may heal their pain and overcome their suffering.